Welcome to KDrama Divas, a podcast and community for passionate fans of Korean dramas. Join us as we explore the captivating world of K-dramas, discussing the latest releases, timeless classics, and everything in between. Whether you're a seasoned K-drama addict or just stepping into this addictive realm, get ready to laugh, cry, and fangirl with the KDrama Divas. You're listening to the KDrama Divas podcast. My name's Amanda.
I'm Serina.
I'm Maureen.
We're the KDrama Divas, and today we're talking about Goblin.
But it's the second part. We've already talked about Goblin once, right? Like part of it.
This is part 3 of Goblin.
Oh, part 3.
I know.
Oh, wow.
Shocking.
I didn't realize.
I didn't realize either.
We did 3 for Queen of Tears, and that was like...
Are you sure?
We've spread this out. Yes, if you listen to our podcast, you would.
Well, I've listened to all of them, and I don't remember there being 2 already.
Yeah,
So.
well, the first one, we just talked about episode 1.
Okay.
It was like our intro. And then last month, well, in August, we reviewed episodes 2 through 6.
Okay, so now we're going to do 7 through the end. Have you finished it?
I have finished Goblin.
Okay. So...
I did. I finished it. Yes.
So...
And I want to hear what you have to say.
Indeed. I finished it.
Maureen just wants, like,
Indeed.
all the details right
Hey,
now.
I told you it was sad at times.
Okay.
So where do we start? Because you kind of have to guide this since you're the last one that saw it.
You have to remember it's a classic.
Where
What
do
makes
we
it a
start?
classic? Because there's been several that you said, I mean, both of you have said, oh, it's a classic, but what makes it a classic?
Well, I think what makes it a classic is if you are a fan of K-dramas, you've watched it, you've seen it, and you know about it. Like everyone. It's like basic K-drama history. I don't know if that's true, but really everyone's seen Goblin,
Well,
including
okay.
us.
I guess, yeah, but what other classics are out there that we all haven't seen?
Well, let's Google it. Hello, Uncle Google.
I mean, we're totally off topic at the moment, but
That's okay.
I'm curious what other classics we haven't seen. I mean, obviously, Boys Over Flowers. Was that like the original classic?
Oh,
No, I doubt it.
It's definitely, I feel like it's an OG, like
OG. I'm trying to what's OG?
original gangster.
Original gangster. Okay.
It's what everyone's seen Boys Over Flowers.
But I'm saying that I don't think it was the very first classic.
It didn't start like the list of classics.
I feel like it helped the wave of Korean drama love.
Why do you think that? Just because that kind of started. It was
I don't
not
know.
the first one we watched.
I might
obviously,
be
but-
making it up,
Okay.
but I mean, I think it's dramas also that hook people.
Okay.
And I think Goblin was very much addictive to a lot of people.
Interesting. Okay.
We'll talk about if it was addictive to me.
Who was?
If it
I
was.
mean, there was. Oh, okay.
If it was.
I thought you meant there was one person that drew you in.
I mean, I don't know. There's so many things on Google, like dramas that you have to have seen or the best. So the best Korean dramas of all time. Ranker. I don't know what Ranker is.
They're a company that ranks.
Well, then this is from 5 years ago. So, well, it says 5 years ago, but now it's,
Maybe they update it.
I don't know. And how do they judge?
Somebody tell us. Somebody that really knows the answer.
And then
Tell us.
when I see the rating, it's like 8.1. I'm like,
Oh.
that's not very good.
So it can be a classic, but not a 10.
Boys Over Flowers is rated 7.8.
Out of how many?
Well, probably 10.
7.8?
But there's 15,000 people that voted.
Oh.
So that's a lot of votes. And people have
Well-
various opinions.
Yeah, see, that's the hard part. That's why I want to know what makes it a classic, because everybody...
I feel like it's a classic, but maybe I'm wrong. What do you-
Goblin or Boys Over Flowers?
Well, both.
Both.
I mean, what do you think out there, Korean drama watchers? Tell us.
Yeah.
Is Goblin a classic?
And what makes something a classic? And is there a list? Like, A real list.
A real list.
Yeah. Not just somebody's opinion. Is there a list?
Well, maybe it's everyone's opinion, and then maybe we should come up with our own.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't know.
we could be a trendsetter.
I don't know.
I think we should come up with our own.
We might have some fighting even between us.
I know, probably. So it's really sad, but I'm trying to remember, what did we talk about last time when it came to Goblin? So
We should have listened to our podcast before we
we should
started
have.
this, huh?
We should have. Let me see. So, I mean, well, I don't know. I don't even know. But we've seen the whole thing, so it doesn't really matter if we backtrack a little bit.
Right.
But so last night I was watching I don't know if I was on episode 12, and I was thinking to myself, Maureen said, "This is so sad. This is so, so sad."
What was happening when you were having these thoughts?
Nothing, not a whole lot. And I was thinking, I don't really find this sad. So yes, there's the Grim Reaper and people die, but I didn't find it sad.
I wonder what part.
When did you find it sad?
Episode 16.
Not till episode 16?
What made you feel like it was sad? What was why at that point? Because
Okay.
16 was the last one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, first of all, I have to say this is going to be filled with spoilers. And if you haven't seen Goblin, don't listen to this. Don't.
But I'm
do
sure
it.
you have seen it.
Well, Amanda and I didn't see it until the last month.
Because it's a classic. Anyway, but okay. So when they're on the rooftop, and
That's not,
what episode is
that's
that?
not
14?
16. 14, possibly.
I'm not saying that it was sad. I'm just saying I thought
When
this
that evil man was there.
bad soul. He was a
Yes.
bad soul.
He was the one that was telling the king to begin with to kill. Remember, he was the one.
Yes. Yes, the devil.
The man.
Yes.
Okay.
So he
But-
came back.
I mean, that part was a little bit sad when the goblin,
When she pulled out the sword.
when he pulls out the sword
Yeah.
with her hand.
Yeah.
It was a little sad. I wasn't that sad.
No.
I wasn't. And I was thinking, this isn't very sad. I don't know why my mom thought it was so sad. But then episode 16 was so sad. And it made me so angry because it's the last episode. You don't want to feel so full of sadness the last episode.
But what was going on that made you feel that way?
She dies. And it was really sad. She dies and she sacrifices herself.
I know.
But it's so sad.
Right.
It is.
And I cried so much.
I actually had forgotten, but you're right.
You forgot.
I did. I moved on. Nothing's a classic in my brain because the stuff there.
My gosh. It's been forward.
I totally forgot she died, but you're right.
Yes.
Yes, that was sad. You're right. It was sad.
And Michael comes into the house because I was finishing episode 16 when he got home from work. And I'm crying and crying.
Oh.
And he hugs me and he said,
Oh.
my face is wet from your tears. What has happened?
What was it? I'm being a little dramatic.
I said, it's my mom. How could she?
I warned you. I told you it was going to be sad, but it has a happy ending.
You said it has a happy ending.
Yes.
Episode 16 should be considered the ending.
Right.
Oh, is that what you? Okay. Okay.
So
I
all
mean,
the bad, sad, everything should be done, and 16 should just be happy.
Oh,
That's what you're saying, huh?
Mostly, yeah.
okay.
And it was a happy ending for the last 10, 15 seconds of the movie.
Because
Show, movie, I'm calling
remind me
it
what
movie.
happened at the very end, the last 5 words.
So she doesn't drink the tea and she goes off
Oh, yeah.
and she's going to have a second life. But she says, I will find you. I will find you.
That's right.
And then in Canada, she's there on a field trip. So she's like back in high school. and she sees him. And I'm just thinking, what? This is dumb. I'm sorry. That's how I felt in that moment.
I think I was a little confused too. I think it was just like, this doesn't make sense.
30 years later.
30 years later, but why couldn't they have made her 30 then?
Right.
Or 28? They have to make her a high school kid again? It kind of bothered me. And I shouldn't say this is dumb. I don't think it's all dumb, but I just was so disappointed with that.
I think I agree.
Okay.
What? What? You thought it was that twist to it was good?
I thought that it was a happy ending. You know, yes, she died, but yes, she was back again. So he wasn't going to be without her all of his life.
But what's going to happen? She's just going to die again.
Right.
And he's a goblin.
And how is she going to find him? Is she going to someday just arbitrarily light a match and blow it out and he's going to show up? How are they going to find each other again? Is he looking for her?
Who knows? All these
inquiring minds want to know.
But I've had all these unanswered questions like that. That's what I was wondering. And so I was sad. And then the second couple, the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
It was kind of cute that they went off together into the afterlife. And then they met her fourth life and his who knows life. That was kind of a cute ending. But I was just like, I was so sad. Because they had already been separated 9 years when he went to the abyss where he wandered through the snow desert for...
Right. So why couldn't that have been the worst part of it all? And then they just live happily ever after that, right?
And that's why I felt so blindsided. But maybe that's why people like this, because it does everything with the emotions.
Right.
Some people love to cry and they love to feel all of the roller coaster.
Well, and I think we always want a happy ending. Maybe not so much Maureen, but I know you and I want a happy ending that's sealed with a bow and a kiss and everything. And
we want to see their children, their grandchildren.
We want to see them get married. And, we want...
But they were married. Remember?
Yeah, for like a day. And then she sacrifices herself.
But I think
how noble.
Some people don't necessarily need or want that like we do.
I know.
Maybe that was all okay for some people.
I know. A lot of people don't need happy endings that are all tied together. But so, overall, though, I think Goblin was a great story. What I found funny is that I really liked, until episode 16, I really liked the second part where when she was 29. And when he comes back from his desert time, I really liked that part.
You notice how it changed, how he was able to hug her and kiss her because she was 29. She wasn't 19.
Yeah, he expressed his feelings a lot more when she was older, which was interesting. It was like their whole dynamic changed.
Right.
And even she says, I can't call you Opa because we're practically the same age, which was ridiculous because she could have called him Opa. But anyway.
Well, how are they practically the same age when she's 29 and he's probably 1,000 at that point, right?
He was thinking he was 39, wasn't he? And so I'm thinking, no, he's still 10 years older than you, plus 1,000.
Right.
It's like you and Mark.
That's right. I'm 29 and he's 3,000. Thankfully, he'll never listen to these. I can say whatever I want.
He could be a big fan and we'd never know.
That's true.
He's sneaky like that.
He is sneaky like that.
Mark, if you're listening to this, we've got your number.
And we all know that you want to live till you're 3 million years old. So you're well on your way.
We're going to start calling you Goblin, Mr. Goblin.
Oh, no. Amanda used to call him Ancient.
Really?
Yes. She used to say he was ancient. So maybe Goblin's the way we should go now. Anyway, back to the reel. So what more of the story do we want to talk about? What all happened in there?
I will just say I love the Grim Reaper. I don't know if it's because he's so cute. It might be because he's so cute. He's so adorable.
Isn't he? Oh my gosh. But then so is Gone Youth,
The Goblin.
Yes.
I know. And I love their friendship.
Yes.
it was really sweet. And it was sad when he found out that he was the
Yeah.
king.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that part was sad too, I admit. But what was more sad to me was the relationship between the Grim Reaper and I don't know what to call her except Boss Lady, because she's in charge of the chicken store.
Right.
So
His sister, you mean?
Yeah, the Goblin sister, because she doesn't forgive him. She chooses and decides, I'm not going to forgive you for what you've done in the past. And it was 900 years ago.
Right. And
Mhm.
they had a connection, and she
Mhm.
really liked him. So to not forgive him was kind of a shock.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and she was hurting herself in that, if you
Right.
think about that.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of biblical truth in that unforgiveness hurts you,
Right.
and it causes a separation between you and God.
Right.
It's not what God wants.
Right.
And it was just sad, because in a way she lived a she lived an unfulfilled life,
Yes.
because she was so sad and miserable and hanging on to that unforgiveness.
By her own choice.
Mhm.
Because she was perfectly fine until then.
Yeah, and even the goblin forgave him.
Right.
So
Right. Everybody did. So yeah, I mean, I liked their relationship up until that point. And I wish they would have developed it sooner, and I wish they would have ended it differently. But
yeah.
other than that, it was
Yeah.
great.
Well, it seemed crazy. It seemed crazy that she wouldn't forgive him.
Right. Yeah, it is true. Just because they did have such a bond, you know?
Mhm.
I don't know. People are funny.
But did you notice when he was talking with that other Grim Reaper, the girl Grim Reaper?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So he obviously committed suicide when he had them
Well,
killed.
They show it, Mom.
Right.
They show it. He knows that he's being fed poison and these herbal tonics, and
Okay.
he says, "Keep bringing me the tonics. I know what's in them. Let's speed this up."
That's right.
So, and then you learn at that time that all Grim Reapers committed suicide.
Yes.
Isn't that sad?
I mean, that is...
It was,
Yeah.
I mean, that is really sad. Okay.
Looking at them all in this story, because they had quite a few there at times, you know?
Mhm.
And it's just kind of sad to think all of them did, you know?
Right.
And it was like, you've committed great sin. And
Yes.
they all wonder, what sin did we commit? And it was against themselves.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I know we were saying when we first started this thing that it wasn't sad until and I mean, like there are sad elements to it. You know, I mean, that is a very sad thing, but I don't think I wasn't crying because the Reapers had committed suicide. So it's a different kind of
had
sin.
me, I don't know, it had me crying at different times.
Yeah.
I really was. But who knows?
It was melancholy. It did have a melancholy vibe.
That's a good way to put it.
That is a very good way to put it.
Yeah.
And I did love the soundtrack.
You know what? I did too. I loved it so much. Serina.
I don't remember. Oh, isn't that horrible? What? I don't remember it.
Really?
It's okay. I'm not sure if you liked it or not. At least episode. So, confession, we didn't watch all of this together, obviously. We watched through 6 together, and then we got busy and ended up watching it on our own.
Did I not like this? Did I make a comment through the first 6 that I didn't like the soundtrack at that point?
You weren't sure.
Okay.
I wonder if I could find the soundtrack.
I know. Now I'm really curious.
I really do like it.
So do you like download the soundtracks to any of these and listen to them after, like just
No, and
on your
I was
own?
thinking I probably should.
Yeah. If you like them so much.
I know.
I mean, Boys Over Flowers, I definitely had downloaded a bunch of them and used to listen to them. I haven't in so long, though. Too many other things going on.
I might have a song here. We'll see if it works.
Okay. Will we get in trouble for playing it on the air without copyright permissions?
I don't know.
Maybe
Okay, it's not working anyway. Never mind. I'll have to show you later, but
Oops.
I loved the soundtrack for sure. A lot of it was in English. Some of it, maybe not a lot of it, but
Now I almost have to go listen just to the soundtrack, just to bits and pieces of it.
you should. It's really good.
Okay.
But I realized how much I love watching dramas with the two of you. Because
Versus on your own.
yeah, I mean, I like watching on my own too. But I was thinking how when we get together and watch dramas, for the most part, people leave us alone. I mean, sometimes there's little interruptions, but we can focus.
Right.
But when I'm watching it at home, I feel like Michael's in and out talking to me. No offense, love you. You can always do that. Or like the dog wants to go outside on a walk, or like so many more distractions because it's not like I'm here to watch this.
Right.
Everyone, we're here to watch it. You can't bother 3 people at once.
Well, they can, but
You can. But
well, and usually we do it when nobody's around,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
We try to do it when nobody's around.
So I missed that. And I wonder if I had watched the whole thing with you, if it would have been more addictive and more interesting because I didn't have to pause it or watch little bits here and there. I just wonder if it changes my view of a drama.
But I mean, we watched the first 6 episodes together, and I know you and I were like, I don't know about this.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was kind of after that point, I think a little bit after, I think it took me a few more if I remember right. But then, I don't know, something happened. I don't even remember what. And then it kind of got a little addicting for the last several episodes. So for me, I just think it was hard for me to get into it to begin with, but then the last several were good.
Mm-hmm.
So
Were you into it? Do you remember, Mom? Were you interested right away?
I think so.
And it didn't take a few episodes or
Mm-mm.
anything.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, somewhere between episode 8 and 12, I got addicted. I'm not sure which one.
right.
I should have kept better notes.
I would
Oh,
agree.
I might have written some notes.
So is the storyline of Goblin kind of more, I don't know what I would say about it. Is that like pre K-drama watching? Is that something you would have watched in your previous life?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I find myself like Goblin, if it wasn't a K-drama, if it was just somebody saying, hey, let's watch this, I don't know that I would have stayed with it.
Right.
So, but because we were going to talk about it and we were all watching it, I think that's the only reason I kind of stuck with it. And I mean, I'm glad I did in the end. It was good.
I'm glad I did too, even though I cried a lot. I almost wish so I just finished it today. So I almost wish I had finished it last week so I had a little time to heal from the shock.
Oh. But maybe it's good because we're getting the raw emotion, right?
I know. I was like, I'm never talking to my mom again.
That's
One thing I learned by watching Goblin, and I feel silly for not knowing this, but actually my mom taught me that January 1st, everyone turns a year older in Korea. Had no clue. Did you know this?
Yes.
You're the
Well,
one that taught me.
I didn't know that until recently, but we've talked about it. But that's not something you knew before you started watching
Oh, no.
K-dramas.
No,
Okay.
it's
But
not
it's something you've
something-
known for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the Goblin, I remember. So there's a scene where it's New Year's Day and she says, I'm officially an adult. Well, I thought her birthday was January 1st or
Right.
whatever New Year's Day is. I didn't realize everyone starts a year older. And so that's what now I know. And I feel so informed.
So I guess we all turn a year older on the January 1st instead, huh? Instead of our real birthdays.
Well, they count their real birthdays too. You want to know something interesting?
Yes, tell us.
I know.
Svi's birthday is December 29th. And
Oh.
then there's January 1st. So
Yeah.
it's like 2 years he can.
So like in a leap year, you only have one birthday every 4 years, 3 years. But with him, it's the opposite. He ages 2 years for every one.
I mean, it's funny because they call themselves.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. So I have a question about this. So if you turn 29 on the 30th of December, and then it's January 1st, you're 30?
Even though he was really 29 on January 1st of that year.
Yeah.
So it's not really.
So he doesn't count himself 31 December 29th
No,
again,
but
because
they-
you would be aging. Everyone would be
Right.
aging really fast.
They do. They still go by their own system. They have not changed it. They have not changed to the international, even though Korea is dropping that. But I think the people that have always been that way are not going to change necessarily, because a Jimin will say that he's 29. Well, he was born in 95 and he's not, his birthday is next month when he would be turning 29. But instead said he was 29
This whole year.
back. Yes.
Hmm.
And I was thinking, you're not 29.
Thankfully, you keep up with BTS because that makes you know all of this stuff.
I know.
Everything she knows, she learned from BTS. Oh, no.
It's so funny.
Mhm.
It's just interesting because I know there was another drama where someone said they were a year older on New Year's.
Itaewon Class.
Okay, but I feel like there was another one, and I was thinking, oh, they're born on New Year's. Why is everyone born on New Year's? So now I know.
I was trying to look it up.
Thank you, Goblin, and thank you, Mom, for teaching me.
Oh, there's a coming of age day. Did you know that?
No.
A ceremony on the third Monday of May where young adults announce their coming of age at age 20.
Hmm.
Huh. Yeah. Interesting.
Cool. So it says, from sources across the web, some classic K-dramas. First one is Boys Over Flowers.
What was that?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Some classic K-dramas.
I don't know if they want me to go up or down the list, but it says Boys Over Flowers, Weightlifting Fairy, Crash Landing on You, Goblin. So it's way up there. But I don't know. I've seen a lot of these.
I've seen them all.
I'm sure you have.
So overall, I'm really, really happy that I saw Goblin, I admit. But it was just a little bit of a shock because I was kind of arrogant in my... I don't know. I feel like I was like arrogant. I don't think this is sad. I can handle way more than I used.
Aaron, I guess now I know what you mean by a happy ending. You want all of the last episode to be happy.
Or at least not the last 15 seconds.
Right.
The last minute or two.
Right.
I mean, hopefully not the last minute or two. Hopefully it's a good 30 minutes of happiness.
Right.
I mean,
they showed them happy when she was still alive.
Yeah,
that's
But you know,
because even though it was a happy ending, even if it was brief, it really, I don't know. It wasn't.
It was kind of a downer ending. I'm sorry. It was.
Yeah.
Because he's sobbing. He's so sad.
Right.
And then they say goodbye to each other, and he causes so much rain in South Korea for
right.
a whole year.
Right.
And it's just sad. It's so sad.
Agree.
And then it's sad too when the Grim Reaper gets his last final job and he says, well, it's my last job. And they say goodbye to each other because they know this is it. We won't see each other again. And the goblin says, it's my business of saying goodbye, or it's my job to always say goodbye. I'll be fine. And it's such a sad life.
And because he's not okay. He's not fine.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
And for me, the ending was sad because he was still a goblin and he's just going to relive the nightmare of losing her.
Mm-hmm. I think when we title this one, we should title it The Sad Episode. Everything we've talked about is sad.
I know. I'm sorry.
Which is so, I mean, let's go back to the beginning of this whole thing. Maureen said it was sad. You said, no, it wasn't really. I kind of said, not really. But yet everything we've talked about has been sad.
I know. Goblin is really sad. Mom, you were right. It's really, really sad.
And then I think the sad, when the older gentleman died, that was with, I mean, that was sad, right?
That was sad too.
Yes.
Okay. It was sad.
Yes. And how did you like that couple that when he died in the Korean War? Oh my gosh.
I don't. Oh,
I know.
I think he got trapped, right?
No, he was.
I thought he was trapped in North Korea. Either way, they were separated.
Oh, yeah.
No, he said he was buried in North Korea.
Because of the demilitarized zone, he was in the war and he got stuck there. That's what I thought.
He was killed.
Either way, it was sad.
Yeah.
And I mean,
yeah, that started my tears. I think that was 15 or something. It was so sad.
I found them to be really sad. That couple.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
How could you, Mom? How could you?
You said earlier, Amanda, that you thought you were stronger and you weren't going to cry and stuff. And I just have to tell you, a couple weekends ago, I met up with some family because we were doing this reunion, and my grandma's sister, Aunt Bev, we were sitting next to each other, and she asked me, she's like, do you still cry at everything or something like that? Because her and I, it's like, we used to cry at commercials. You know, there was a laundry detergent commercial when I was younger that I cried at. My family gives me grief.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was very, very, anything would set me off. And apparently Aunt Bev is the same way. And so we're sitting there and I said, you know, as I've gotten older, I've gotten a lot stronger. I don't hardly cry at all. And I look at her and we both started crying. So yeah, I'm not getting any stronger. I'm a crybaby. Even though I didn't cry as much as you've cried in some of these dramas. So maybe just with K-dramas, I'm not quite as bad as I can be. I don't know.
That's so funny. It's so funny. I don't know if we should vote on the overall, our overall rating of the drama, or a sadness rating of the drama.
We should do both. No.
I think I would do overall, and again, it's been a little bit since I've seen it, but I want to say, let's say a 4.
You know what? That's probably good.
So what's your rating?
Probably a 4 also.
Me too.
Wow.
A 4 out of 5. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We're all on the same page.
Yeah. But had you have asked me back on 6, I would have probably said a 1 or a 2. So that's good improvement.
Wow. That's why you really have to give them a chance.
Yes. Definitely. We kind of have learned that, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Even though it's hard sometimes. Like another one we're going to talk about later, but we won't bring that one up yet.
Oh, that other one. I absolutely love.
It's not time yet.
We will not name names at this moment.
She's trying to hold herself back right now. So please let us know what you think of Goblin. We want to know if you consider it a classic K-drama. You can drop us a line on Facebook, X, or email us at 3kdramadivas@gmail.com.
Is it 3 spelled out or just the number 3?
Number 3.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
I think that's all we have time for. Part 3 of Goblin.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the KDrama Divas podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as we did. Before we part ways, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review wherever you get your podcasts. Connect with us on social media at KDrama Divas to stay up to date on recent podcasts and to share your thoughts and recommendations.